Hi there and welcome to 272analytics.com's tutorial on how to label variables in Stata. In order to do so, let's create 50 open observations to begin with. Then let's create a variable, just call it sex here, and set that equal to 0. And let's verify that we've done that. Okay, so we have a 50 observation data set. The variable is called sex and it's got a value of 0 all the way through. Now let's label that variable. And the reason I'm labeling it sex with a capital S over here is because when it's in tabular format, which you're going to see in a minute, it's going to look better. So we don't want it to be lowercase because that wouldn't be grammatical in the form of a table, especially if we're going to copy that table over to, let's say, a Word document. So that's my reasoning for doing that. Now I'm going to use the replace function here, which I've covered in another tutorial, to replace 0 with 1 in observations 26 through 50, and let's verify that I've done that. As you can see, I've done that. Next, I want to set up a label that I'm going to define, and this is the key function for this tutorial. I'm going to say label define. This is the code here. Now, this is the name that I'm giving the label. I just typed this in. It could have been anything. It could have been sex too, again, but I'm just calling it gender, and I'm saying 0 for male, 1 for female, and you have to use these quotation marks around how you're doing the labeling. Then you enter. Notice that nothing has happened as of yet. There's no change in your data set, nothing has happened, but what you have done is you've created the ability to go in now and label that value using this command, label value, which could also be values, but we're going to leave it at value, followed by the variable name, which is of course sex, if you remember that's what we called it, and lastly the name of the label, which we defined here and we called it gender, right? Now let's do that. Let's have a quick look at it. Now you can see that this 50 item data set has been transformed. So these values of 0 have been overwritten as male and the values of 1 have been overwritten as female. And what you could do now is just use the tab command. And remember what I was saying about sex with a capital S. See here, that's where it's useful to have something like that, because if this was not capital here, it would be ungrammatical with the rest of the table. It would look out of place, basically. So when you have this, you could, if you want to, just highlight everything, right-click it, copy it as a picture or table, drop it into whatever you're doing, or just use this for its own purposes to understand how that works. I hope this tutorial was helpful to you, and I would like to invite you to visit 272analytics.com for access to all our free statistics tutorials in Stata, SPSS, R, eViews, and Minitab. Here at 272analytics.com, we provide data consulting primarily to graduate students. Therefore, we work very closely with you in order to perfect your Chapter 3 and Chapter 4. That means helping you design surveys, getting your data input, assisting you with fashioning appropriate research questions and hypotheses, getting your data, extracting them, transforming them, cleaning them, putting them through analysis, interpreting them, explaining them to you, so that at the end of the day, you know exactly what story your data tell, why they matter, what they mean, in a manner that lets you write a perfect Chapter 4. Following a perfect Chapter 3, and lets you defend your dissertation or thesis with complete confidence. We provide ethical consulting. It's not a writing service, so you will be responsible for taking our blueprint, our assistance, our consulting, and transforming them into an appropriate academic project for yourself. I'd also like to remind you that we provide the same services to undergraduate students who are working with quantitatively oriented assignments. Thank you so much for listening and have a great day.